Hey guys, welcome back to Vlog Media. This is again me, Mark, and for today we're going to talk about a book that I've been quite reading and reflecting about for all these days. And the title is about 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. I realized I have to do this vlog because it's almost a new year, and of course, obviously, there will be a lot of New Year resolution, and most people fail their New Year resolution, and I realized that these habits of highly effective people will actually motivate you in actually fulfilling your New Year resolution in the coming new year. So in order for you to succeed in this venture, you have to put or cultivate these habits, which is aligned to your good principles. And for rule number 1, it says that you should take proactive control in your response to the world. So when you talk about proactive response to the world, is that you can't change the world around you no matter what you do, but you can actually change it in a way you can, but you can't change everything. The thing is that when you talk about changing yourself, it has to change from within. For example, if it looks like a bad day to other people, it may seem a bad day to you, but if you can take the control with you, that's not a bad day, then you can actually have a control. So you need to have a sense of control with yourself in order to work on the things that are actually really good and positive in this thing. So starting from within yourself can actually work on these things, and you're able to control yourself mentally and emotionally. The main gist of number 1 is that when you encounter a problem, you don't really have to act on it by reflex. So what you do is that take a step backward, think about the problem, try to process them, and find a solution. The second habit is to begin tasks with the desired outcome. So for every task that you do, always find a goal, always find an outcome for that, because you need an outcome in order for you to achieve those things. So you need to think of accomplishments, relationships, and the world you wanted to leave behind. What's your legacy? That's the thing with beginning your task with desired outcome. And it's really wise to have a blueprint of what you're gonna do, or your long-term plans or short-term plans. But it's really better that if you really have a blueprint, really a plan in mind, step-by-step plan in mind, in order to achieve what you want to achieve in the long run. So the third value is about putting things first. So when you put things first, you tend to prioritize important things over the lesser ones. So for you to achieve this, you have to make a quadrant. Take a piece of paper and divide it into 4 quadrants. In quadrant number 1, you will have to put in or prioritize things that are really immediate. For example, if you're sick, of course you have to take care of yourself, you have to go to the hospital, that's really emergent. And of course, there's other things aside from that that's really, really important to you. Example, you're rushing things that is really important, like an event or important things that you need to do. And for quadrant number 2, you have to put something that is, well, it's important, but it's not really that emergent. It can be a long-term plans, long-term goals, doing these YouTube videos, so having a lot of goals in mind that are actually long-term. And they're important, very important, because it's very important for your progress. For quadrant number 3, those are the less important tasks that you need to do. And for quadrant number 4 are the menial tasks that are not very important, actually, that you can actually leave behind, actually, such as surfing the internet or things like that. So the main thing is that you have to prioritize quadrant number 1, and you have to make sure that you don't leave out quadrant number 2, because if you leave out quadrant number 2, which is actually important for your long-term goals, you may not actually make it to achieve your goals, because long-term goals are actually your goals in the long term. These are actually these big audacious plans that you have in mind. And take note that if you keep on prioritizing quadrant number 4 and not prioritizing quadrant 1 or 2, then you must be procrastinating. So for habit number 4, try to look for a win-win scenario most of the time. So make sure that you win and the other party also wins. So let's take it this way, like if you're playing or if you're watching a basketball, so obviously one will win and the other one will lose. So it is actually a win-lose scenario. So one good example about a win-win situation is that when one of your teammates is actually working very, very hard for the benefit of the team itself. So in the spirit of meritocracy, you have to reward that person who's actually doing a lot of things for the team. The thing is that it's a win-win situation, because that person is actually working really hard, will get rewarded, and at the same time, the team gets the benefits of that team growing or that company growing because of that person's hard work. So it's a win-win situation. So try to look for situations or scenarios where there is actually a win-win situation, and it will be good for both parties. Habit number 5. build strong relationships by understanding others. So creating a relationship is not really easy because you need a lot of EQ to understand one another. So one thing is about is that when you create relationships about others, try to understand them first and try not to jump in to give advice because you don't know their perspective or context. So in order to build relationships here is actually by not by advice, but try to understand others first. Being understanding, try to be more of a listener than a talker. By listening to people actually gives you their background, and by listening intently and communicating properly, you can actually understand them, and that actually fosters a better relationship in the long term. Remember, relationships are more important than product knowledge in itself. So number 6, create powerful synergies by fostering open exchange of ideas. So when you talk about synergy, you're talking about that the whole is more important than the sum of its parts. So in short, the team is more important than the sum of all its members because of synergy. So what I'm trying to say is that when people, with the same ideas and motivations, have the same goals in mind, and if they work together, they can actually do a lot better than any individual of them can do. So if, on the other hand, wherein you have effective people but all of them have different ideas, different direction and mindsets, you will achieve nothing. So it's important that you have the same direction, same mindset, same goals, and work together to form a synergy in order for you to create a really successful outcome, whatever it may be. Before we discuss the 7th habit, if you like this video, please click like, share, comment, and subscribe to my video to help my growing channel. So the last habit is make time to take care of yourself. So the book talks about 4 different aspects wherein you can take care of yourself. The first one is physical. So when we talk about physical, take the time to take care of your physical self, such as doing well exercise, eating good food, and taking good sleep. The second aspect is spiritual, which is taking care of yourself, your spiritual self, and getting more aware of your surroundings. The third one is actually mental. Mental health is very important, and try to get enough sleep, enough rest, and enough pacing, because you don't want to burn out yourself, because overworking can lead to burnout, and when you are in a burnout phase, it's very difficult to recover. The fourth one is social. So social, try to talk to friends, spend time with relatives and loved ones, and try to make yourself in their company and enjoy their company as well. So friends, those are the 7 habits of highly effective people. But if you want to know more about it, so it's better for you to buy the book and read it. Take your time in reading it, and I hope you enjoy the video, and happy reading if you have to. Bye!